Hey, if you do not have your board marker and eraser or paper and a pencil, pause this video right now and grab what you need. So in today's mini lesson, we talked about the 3 rules to determine if a fraction is already simplified or not. And then we discovered what to do if it's not a simplified fraction, how to turn it into a simplified fraction. Or another word that we could use is to reduce your fraction into its smallest terms. So the first rule that we have is, are the numerator and denominator neighbors on the number line? And our example that we have here is 3/4. Notice how 3 and 4 are side by side on the number line. So this fraction is already reduced. Number 2, is the numerator a 1? So this fraction is 1/7. If the numerator is a 1, then it's already simplified. And then number 3, do the numerator and denominator have any common factors besides 1? And our example that we have is 5/7. So let's talk about what to do if your fractions are not simplified. All right, so our first example that we have is 8/12. So go ahead and get your paper, your pencil ready, and let's look at 8/12. So our first rule, are the numerator and denominator neighbors on the number line? Is the 8 right next to the 12 on the number line? No. Number 2, is 1 a numerator? No. So now we have to determine if number 3 is going to cover our rule. In order to do that, we talked about in our mini lesson that we have to do 2 factor rainbows. We have to do a factor rainbow for 8, and we have to do a factor rainbow for 12. So we're going to think about what we have in common. So always starting, we have 1 and 8. Then we move on to 2 and 4. And then we ask ourselves, does 3 times anything equal 8? No. And then 4 times anything is already on our factor rainbow. So we're done. Now we're moving on to 12. We have 1 and 12. Then we move on and we have 2. And then we have 6. And then we move on and we have 3 and 4. And we know that we're done with our factor rainbow because we have 4 on the other side of our factor rainbow. So now we're going to go through and we're going to see what we have in common. So we both have a 2. We don't have any 3s, and we both have a 4. So whatever we choose, we want to make sure that we're choosing the greatest common factor, the biggest common factor, G, C, F. And the reason why we want to choose the greatest common factor is because that's going to get us our simplified fraction first. So we're going to divide by the greatest common factor. So our greatest common factor is 4. So we're going to divide both of these by 4, our numerator and our denominator. So let's go ahead and look. We have 8 divided by 4 and 12 divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4 equals 2, and 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So putting this into simplest terms, our answer is 2/3. Now we can see they're neighbors on the number line, so they are simplified. We're going to do just one more as an example. I want for you to go ahead and pause this video and turn 8/14 into a simplified fraction. Go ahead and go. Okay, so if we're doing our factor rainbows for 8 and 14, we already have our factors for 8 written here, so I'm not going to waste our time and show you that again. But we have 14, so we have 1 and 14, and then we have 2, that looks like a 7, 2 and 7. So circling our common factors, we have a 2 and a 2 and nothing else. So that means we're going to divide both of these by 2. Is that what you did on your paper? So 8 divided by 2 equals 4, and 14 divided by 2 equals 7. So our fraction that is in simplest form is 4/7. All right, good luck on your exit ticket.